the ghost in our genetic code. For generations, the timeline of human evolution felt clean, linear. Homo sapiens emerged in Africa, walked out across the globe, and conquered the world. It is a comfortable story. It is also incomplete. Modern computational biology has recently exposed a glaring, silent gap in the human genome. When scientists ran deep algorithmic analyses on the DNA of certain modern populations, they hit a wall of code that shouldn't exist. They discovered segments of DNA that do not match Neanderthals, Denisovans, or any known hominin fossil ever uncovered. They call it a ghost lineage. The data reveals that this mysterious group split from our common family tree somewhere between 360,000 and 1.02 million years ago. Then, in a sudden twist of prehistoric history, they encountered our direct ancestors somewhere between 6,000 and 124,000 years ago. They interbred. In fact, up to 19% of the genetic ancestry in some modern populations comes directly from this phantom species. Here is the truly unsettling part. We have absolutely zero physical evidence of their existence. No fragile skulls preserved in mud, no primitive stone tools, no faded cave paintings. They are a civilization written entirely in the invisible ink of our biology. We are walking museums for a species we have never seen. The sweating sickness. If our own genetic blueprint holds phantoms, the pages of history hide even more terrifying biological invaders that arrived without a trace, rewrote the rules of lethal contagion, and dissolved back into the shadows. In the summer of 1485, just as the Wars of the Roses were drawing to a bloody close, a completely unknown and terrifyingly swift disease emerged in England. It was called the sweating sickness. It didn't crawl through populations, it ran. A perfectly healthy person could wake up feeling entirely fine at dawn, break into a horrific freezing sweat by noon, and be dead by nightfall. The speed of the disease was its most weaponized trait, paralyzing entire towns with raw panic within days. Over the next several decades, it struck the region in 5 distinct, hyper-lethal waves. It targeted robust adults, tearing through communities with surgical precision. And then, after its final catastrophic outbreak in 1551, the disease did something truly bizarre. It just stopped. It vanished from the face of the earth. Modern epidemiology has analyzed historical records and modern data trying to crack this centuries-old cold case. Yet we still have absolutely zero definitive proof of what it actually was. No virus, no bacteria, and no modern pathogen perfectly mirrors its hyper-accelerated lethality or its sudden, total disappearance. It remains an evolutionary glitch, a phantom killer that slipped out of nature's dark laboratory, took its toll, and vanished back into the void, the final awakening. This boundary between biology and the unknown becomes even narrower in the quiet rooms of modern hospices, right on the precipice of death. It is an anomaly in modern medicine that is as deeply beautiful as it is profoundly haunting. It is called terminal lucidity. This is a documented medical phenomenon where patients suffering from severe, irreversible brain destruction suddenly regain their full memories, coherent personalities, and complete mental clarity. This isn't a gradual recovery. It is a sudden, blinding flash of awareness that occurs just hours or days before they pass away. Imagine a grandmother who has suffered from late-stage Alzheimer's for a decade. For years, she has been entirely nonverbal, unable to recognize her own children, her identity completely eroded by the decay of her brain tissue. Then, out of nowhere, she wakes up. She looks her son in the eye, calls him by his name, asks about old family memories, and calmly says her goodbyes. Shortly after, she dies. Neurologically, this should be impossible. The physical brain pathways required to construct those sentences and access those memories have been physically eaten away by disease. One prominent explanation is that the dying brain, flooded with a final, desperate surge of neurochemicals, bypasses damaged sectors to forge brief, temporary neural bridges. A final, system-wide reboot, but it remains a hypothesis. We don't truly understand how a broken instrument can play one last perfect symphony before falling completely silent. The mimic molecules. While terminal lucidity shows the mind defying a broken brain, microbiology hides an entity that challenges our very definition of biological life by breaking the most fundamental laws of reproduction. The central dogma of biology states that replication requires a genetic blueprint, DNA or RNA. Every virus, bacteria, parasite, and human cell obeys this rule to create copies of itself, except for one terrifying molecular rule breaker, the prion. Prions are not alive. They are not even microorganisms or viruses. They are simply proteins, microscopic strings of amino acids, that have become misfolded into a corrupted shape. Yet, they are infectious, hyper-lethal, and entirely indestructible by standard medical sterilization. When a prion enters a healthy brain, it doesn't infect cells in a traditional way. It doesn't have a genome to replicate. Instead, it breaks the rules through pure mechanical force. It bumps into normal, healthy proteins and physically warps them, forcing them to fold into exact mirrors of its own corrupted structure. This triggers a devastating mechanical chain reaction, slowly transforming healthy brain tissue into a hollowed-out microscopic sponge. It is an infectious killer operating entirely without genetic code, nature's ultimate biochemical glitch, the third state of existence. If prions show that inanimate proteins can mimic the behaviors of life, a stunning discovery in late 2024 proved that dead cells can do something even more radical: build an entirely new form of existence. Throughout the entire history of science and philosophy, life has been viewed through a strict binary lens. You are either alive or you are dead. There is no middle ground, or so we thought. In late 2024, a groundbreaking biological review dismantled this absolute boundary by introducing a fascinating concept: the third state of existence. Biologists discovered that when certain organisms die, their individual cells do not simply power down and rot. If the environmental conditions are exactly right, these cells can do something seemingly impossible. They detach, find one another, and spontaneously reorganize into entirely new, functional, multicellular organisms. This isn't just basic cell survival, it is an entirely new chapter of life. For instance, when researchers harvested skin cells from deceased frog embryos, the cells didn't decay. Instead, they reassembled into microscopic entities called xenobots. These brand new organisms used tiny, hair-like structures to actively navigate their surroundings and move objects. When human cells were used, they formed anthrobots, microscopic structures capable of moving independently and even repairing nearby damaged tissue. Think about the profound irony here. The cells are using the death of the host as a green light to rewrite their own evolutionary rules, developing capabilities they never possessed when the original animal was alive. We still do not understand the cryptic bioelectric signals orchestrating this post-mortem resurrection. It forces us to ask a deeply uncomfortable question. What if death isn't the final curtain, but a brand new director taking the stage? The alien continents beneath our feet. From the microscopic rule breakers inside our cells, the scale of planetary anomalies expands outward, down to structures so vast they alter the gravity of our entire world. Look up at the night sky, and you might wonder about alien worlds light years away. But what if the most shocking extraterrestrial remnant isn't floating in deep space? What if it is buried deep beneath your feet? Geophysicists mapping the Earth's interior using seismic waves made a baffling discovery. Right at the boundary where our planet's molten core meets the rocky mantle, they found two colossal subterranean structures. These aren't just large rock formations. They are gargantuan provinces known to science as large, low-shear velocity provinces, or simply, the blobs. One rests deep beneath Africa, the other sits beneath the Pacific Ocean. To comprehend their size, imagine an entire continent sinking into the Earth. Except these structures are roughly 100 times taller than Mount Everest. But the sheer scale isn't the real mystery. The anomaly lies in their composition. They are significantly denser than the surrounding mantle and possess a completely different chemical signature. They don't belong here. The theory to explain this is mind-bending. Around 4.5 billion years ago, a Mars-sized protoplanet named Theia violently collided with the infant Earth. We know that the resulting debris coalesced to form our moon. But what happened to the rest of Theia? It didn't vanish. It shattered, melted, and sank. The ghost of an alien world is still trapped inside our own, waiting out eternity in the dark. The lost kingdom of Fractals. Long after the remnants of that alien world settled deep inside the Earth, the ancient surface of our planet bore witness to a prehistoric biological mystery just as alien. Millions of years before the famous Cambrian explosion filled the primeval oceans with the ancestors of modern animals, an entirely different phantom ecosystem ruled the waves. They are known to science as the Ediacaran biota. Discovered in fossil beds across the globe, these soft-bodied, multicellular creatures look completely disconnected from our evolutionary tree of life. They didn't possess mouths, eyes, digestive tracts, or limbs. Instead, they grew into bizarre, quilted shapes, looking like segmented leaves, ribbed discs, and textured mats governed by strict fractal geometry. They didn't develop the way modern animals do. They grew by repeating the same mathematical pattern over and over again, scaling up their geometry with strange automated precision. They didn't look like animals, plants, or fungi. They were an entirely independent, parallel experiment in complex multicellular life. And then, they vanished, leaving absolutely zero evolutionary descendants. They are a stark reminder that nature didn't just write our branch of life. It once created an entire, forgotten kingdom that shared absolutely none of our blueprint. The star in a jar. While the forgotten kingdom of fractals represents a lost blueprint of nature, modern physics allows us to create an anomaly inside a simple laboratory flask that seems to violate the very rules of energy concentration. It's a phenomenon called sonoluminescence, or, more dramatically, the star in a jar. To see it, scientists fire high-frequency sound waves through a small container of liquid. This sonic pressure causes a tiny bubble of gas to form, expand, and then violently collapse in on itself. When that bubble implodes, reality breaks. The collapsing bubble emits a brief, blinding flash of blue light, but the real shockwave comes from the temperature. For a fraction of a microsecond, the interior of that collapsing bubble spikes to an astonishing 20,000 Kelvin. That is more than 3 times hotter than the surface of our sun. Think about the absolute absurdity of that contrast. Sound waves, which are just vibrations traveling through water, somehow compress gas so perfectly that they generate a microscopic, stellar inferno in a glass jar. Despite decades of rigorous study, physicists still do not have a universally accepted explanation for why this happens. Some theorize that the implosion creates a localized, ultra-dense state of plasma, while others suspect even more exotic physics. For now, it remains a brilliant, blinding mystery tucked away inside a single drop of water. The impossible dawn. If a tiny drop of water can harbor temperatures hotter than a star, looking out to the absolute edge of space reveals structures that challenge our entire understanding of how stars and galaxies began. When the James Webb Space Telescope was launched into orbit, its primary mission was simple: look back to the cosmic dawn, peer into the darkness just a few 100 million years after the Big Bang, and watch the very first chaotic baby galaxies slowly blink into existence. Scientists expected to find fragile, unformed clusters of stars. They found an existential crisis instead. Scattered across the deepest infrared images of the early universe were tiny, glowing structures that astronomers now call little red dots. These aren't fragile infant galaxies. They are fully formed, incredibly dense cosmic monsters that appear impossibly mature. According to every established model of cosmic evolution, there simply had not been enough time since the birth of the universe for gravity to collect that much mass. It's like digging up an ancient archaeological site and finding a modern smartphone buried inside it. Astrophysicists are scrambling for an explanation. One leading hypothesis is that these dots are hiding ravenous, supermassive black holes that are consuming gas so violently that the friction produces a blinding light, creating the illusion of massive starlight. But this solution only exchanges one mystery for an even bigger one. How could a supermassive black hole grow that large, that quickly, in an infant universe? Alternatively, the light could be caused by exceptional, hyper-intense bursts of star formation, pulsing with brilliant light in a chaotic early cosmos. As it stands, there is no definitive consensus. The little red dots are sitting at the edge of time, silently mocking our understanding of how reality began, reminding us that the deeper we look into the dark, the more the rules seem to change. The Great Attractor. While these impossibly mature baby galaxies alter our understanding of the cosmic timeline, an anomaly much closer to home is actively rewriting the physical destination of our entire galaxy. Deep in intergalactic space, at the heart of our local Laniakea supercluster, lies a gravitational titan. We call it the Great Attractor. For decades, astronomers noticed that the Milky Way and thousands of neighboring galaxies aren't just drifting smoothly through the expansion of space. We are being pulled. Something with the mass of tens of thousands of galaxies is actively dragging our entire sector of the cosmos toward a single focal point at over 1,000,000 miles per hour. The ultimate irony? We cannot clearly see what it is. This gravitational monster sits directly behind the zone of avoidance, the thick, dusty plain of our own Milky Way galaxy that completely blinds our optical telescopes. It is an invisible cosmic drain, pulling everything we know toward an unviewable focal point, serving as a chilling reminder that the supreme master of our galactic trajectory is completely shrouded in darkness. The void that swallowed galaxies. If our entire galaxy is being dragged toward an unseen anchor, other parts of the universe are defined not by what is pulling them, but by an absolute, terrifying absence of matter. If you were to travel to the constellation of Buddhas and look out into the night sky, you would be staring into what many astronomers consider the most terrifying place in the universe, an emptiness so profound it defies imagination. Discovered in 1981, the Buddha's void is a colossal, spherical expanse of nothingness, spanning an astonishing 330 million light-years across. To put that into perspective, the universe is generally structured like a cosmic web, with galaxies clustered tightly along glowing filaments of dark matter. Based on the average density of the cosmos, a region of this size should contain thousands of galaxies. In the Buddha's void, we have found only about 60. It is a cosmic dead zone. The isolation is unimaginable. If our own Milky Way galaxy had been positioned in the dead center of the Buddha's void, human civilization would not have known that other galaxies existed until the mid-20th century. When our telescope technology became highly advanced, we would have believed we were entirely alone in a dark, infinite room. How does an emptiness this vast form? The standard explanation is that smaller pockets of empty space naturally merged over billions of years, like soap bubbles joining together. But the sheer scale has driven more extreme speculative theories. Some wonder if we are witnessing the footprint of an expanding, hyper-advanced alien civilization, a Kardashev Type 3 civilization. They hypothesize that these beings are enclosing entire star systems inside Dyson spheres to harvest their energy, slowly turning a massive sector of the universe completely black. The Cosmic Bruise. Whether the vast emptiness of a void is a product of natural physics or something far more exotic, there is one final boundary in our cosmos that suggests our entire universe might be nothing more than a single bubble floating in an infinite ocean. When astronomers look out into the deep void of space, they expect to see a relatively uniform tapestry of matter and energy. But when they mapped the cosmic microwave background, the ancient leftover heat from the Big Bang, they stumbled upon a cold, dark scar that shouldn't be there. Located in the constellation of Eridanus, scientists discovered a gargantuan expanse known as the Eridanus supervoid. It is an unnaturally cold abyss stretching across hundreds of millions of light years. According to our standard models of cosmology, the universe should be structurally consistent at this scale. A void this massive and this profoundly cold breaks the rules of cosmic formation. Most astrophysicists believe it is just a colossal cosmic illusion, a string of smaller empty pockets perfectly lined up to trick our instruments. But others have ventured into far darker territory. The theory suggests that during the violent inflation of the Big Bang, our freshly forming universe physically collided with a neighboring parallel universe. The Eridanus supervoid might be the literal physical scar of an interdimensional collision. If true, it means we aren't looking at empty space. We are looking at the exact boundary where our reality slams into another. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you learned something new, be sure to give the video a like, and let me know in the comments below which of these anomalies blew your mind the most, or if you think that cosmic scar really is a sign of a parallel universe. If you'd like to see more videos like this, consider subscribing so you don't miss future uploads. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.